Welcome back to Mideast in Depth. Today our focus is on the US and Saudi Arabia's separate agendas with regards to intervention in Yemen. Patrick Cockburn writes in The Independent that as the US and Iran reach accord, Saudi Arabia may cost Syria and Yemen dear. He claims Saudi Arabia and the Gulf monarchies have the greatest self-interest in maintaining the status quo in the region, the Middle East, something they have been fairly successful in doing in the past. He elaborates, what is striking about developments in the past few weeks is that it is Saudi Arabia that is seeking radical change in the region and is prepared to use military force to secure it. In Yemen, it has launched a devastating air war, and in Syria, it is collaborating with Turkey to support extreme jihadi movements led by Jabhat al-Nusra, the Al-Qaeda affiliate that last week captured its first provincial capital. He asserts the Saudis are abandoning their tradition of pursuing extremely cautious policies, using their vast wealth to buy influence, working through proxies and keeping close to the US. In Yemen, it is the Saudi Air Force that is bombarding the Houthis, along with Yemeni army units still loyal to former President Ali Abdullah Saleh. He explains victory in Yemen would compensate for the frustration of Saudi policy in Iraq and Syria, where the Saudis have been outmaneuvered by Iran. He adds, Yemen is not the only country in which Saudi Arabia is taking a more vigorous role. Last week, President Bashar al-Assad of Syria suffered several defeats, the most important being the fall of the provincial capital Idlib in northern Syria to Jabhat al-Nusra, which fought alongside two other hardline al-Qaeda-type movements. Finally, he writes, Saudi Arabia is not the first monarchy to imagine that it can stabilize its rule by waging a short and victorious foreign war. In 1914, the monarchs of Germany, Russia and Austro-Hungary had much the same idea and found out too late that they had sawed through the branch on which they were all sitting. With this, he warns Saudi rulers may find to their cost that they have been far more successful than Iran ever was in destroying the political status quo in the Middle East. Ramzi Baroud writes in Arab News that to suggest the US policies in Yemen were a failure is an understatement. It implies that the US had at least attempted to succeed, but succeed at what? He claims now that a civil war and regional wars have broken out. The degree of US influence in Yemen has been exposed as limited. Their war on Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, in the larger context of political, tribal and regional rivalry, as insignificant. He concedes the US shadowy war had augmented the suffering, demoralized the nation and undermined whatever the political process underway, especially after the Yemeni version of the Arab Spring early 2011. However, the US paid little heed to Yemen's fragile alliances and the fact that the country was on a fast track towards civil war, worse, a regional war, direct or by proxy. He continues, the US continued with its war unabated, arming whomever it deemed an ally, exploiting regional differences and promoting the power of Al-Qaeda in ways that far exceeded their presence on the ground. He asserts, gone are the days in which US policies alone dictated the course of history in the Middle East. The writer predicts further chaos. Now, with a preliminary nuclear deal agreed upon Iran and US and its allies, chances are the US, although will carry on with its saber rattling, as Iran will surely do as well, there is little chance that Obama will enact any major shift in his regional policies. For more updates, please visit Levant.tv. And subscribe to Mideast in Depth on iTunes. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.